Hello, my name is Monika Mehra and I'm certified spoken English trainer. 30th September was World Translation Day and thus I got the idea for today's video. So, if I could ask you, does translation help? I would say yes, it does. Especially when I don't know the language of the country that I'm visiting. For example, I go to Japan. I don't know Japanese. So, the translation app or translation website will help me to communicate in Japan with ease. Similarly, if I'm working with a Japanese company and I don't know the Japanese language, so translation help will help me to understand the language easily and I'll be able to communicate with the Japanese buyer easily. But would you say we should translate if we are learning a new language? For example, in the same example, I'm learning Japanese. Would you say I should use translation app or translation website? Well, the answer is no. Let me share my experience here. Few years back, I was learning Spanish and I got in the habit of translating Spanish words into English for a month or two. I was doing this and I noticed that instead of helping, this practice of mine was hindering my learning. It was then my Spanish trainer suggested me to avoid translation completely. And within the year, I noticed that my language was improving. I became better and better with the language and I achieved the intermediate level, which was little short of fluency. So now that I am a language trainer myself, I train in English language, I tell my students to avoid translation completely. Today in this video, I'm going to share 2 observations on translation. I would share the best practices in those situations. So let's begin. Point number 1. When we are learning a new language, it's often seen that if we try to understand a new word, we try to translate that word into our known language. Say for example, English is my known language and Spanish is my target language. So what I would do is I would translate or I would find the equivalent word for the Spanish word in English. And very often it's seen that we don't find the equivalent word in our known language. And that confuses the learner. So the best practice is to avoid translating or to avoid finding the word in your known language and to understand the usage of that word in the new language itself. This usage in the new language will help me to understand and improve my Spanish communication. Point number 2. Often it's seen to communicate in a new language, the learners try to think in their comfortable language or their known language. In the same situation, to communicate in Spanish, I would think in English. So what happens there is I'm thinking in English and then I will translate it in Spanish. So the flow of conversation gets affected. Our brain is not that fast enough that it can translate between languages quickly. So the best practice will be to avoid thinking in the new language. Rather, we should think in the target language itself. So I would avoid thinking in English and think in Spanish itself. And yes, by the end of your learning, you would see that these practices will help you be better at the new language. So, hope these two lessons help you in learning a new language. Please do like the video and share the video with your people and subscribe to this channel for similar life skills lessons. And I will return next week with another life lesson. So until then, I'll take your leave. Bye for now.